Welcome everybody here to your coverage of the D2CL. I am your host for the English live stream today, TobiWan, bringing you our one and only matchup. It is RoX going up against Team RoX. It is RoX, you are doing fine. We are coming in after their, they are coming in after their recent win. I say recent, they finished literally just a couple of minutes ago over virtus.pro, taking that 1-0. How will they go up against the boys of RoX? Well, let's find out together. Into the draft we head for the D2CL, because you can head over to d2cl.org to watch all the details of the tournament, and of course you can follow all our live streams and videos right here on the Dailymotion channel or /join Dota as well, because Cap was casting a couple of the games from last night. And as far as RoX and RoX go, well, they can be sitting here going, hey, it's only early in the tournament. There's still a lot of games to win. Unfortunately for, I say unfortunately for VP, they're the ones who came off on the rough end of the RoX game just on the 25th. But RoX already one win up. Not only one win, they went 2-0 up against virtus.pro, and now they're playing the game up against RoX. They're in a pretty rough group. The winners of DreamHack Bucharest, as well as the runners-up, Cloud9 as well as Alliance, sitting also in this group with virtus.pro, RoX, and Meet Your Makers. That is all of Group 2 for the D2CL. Group 1 is also nicely stacked. We got PGG's new team, Dream Team 168. That's how many versions of the team we've seen PGG go through before he's finally been able to secure a roster. NetsKZ also, they are no mugs with a hero, but at the same time, they're having a bit of a rough start already, losing out to both Team Empire as well as to the Power Rangers earlier on. Of course, Power Rangers in the group with the team which they love to take out in all the group stage matches, Na'Vi, as well as Team Empire. But Team Empire and PR tied for group number 1. Fnatic is the last team to cap off group number 1 as well. But for today, we are going to focus ourselves right here on this matchup. It's RoX going up against RoX. RoX, the guys who are bringing the axe back. That's what these guys are doing more than anything else, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to see. Unfortunately for us, we won't be seeing it here in the first game because normally they either pick axe or the centaur. In this case, they decided to go with the first pickup in the centaur, Ancient Apparition and Marana combination. So, interesting to see then the follow-up here to this. Normally with RoX, I think they've been trying to run a Rubik instead to work with the Ancient Apparition as well as Mirana. They just need some kind of hold lockdown. This can come from a Bane or it can come from a Rubik. They'll be the two highest priority heroes to properly pick up. While RoX, they're walking around with Invoker, so we already get our mid-solo for solo, as it looks like I'm DCing out of the game. Hopefully that won't last long, and I'll get myself straight back into it again. But yeah, with having the SD and Invoker, we go into this combination which is really starting to make a bit more of a comeback. It's the disruption into Sunstrike kind of deal. So they all need is like a follow-up starting to work with the SD, and it's just trying to make action happen. So far though, with all the games I've cast where the SD has tried to go for that combination, it hasn't been that combo that's won the lane. In fact, it's normally been the opposite. The SD just turns into this defensive disruptor, delaying the fight, and then the Invoker comes through with more controlling abilities. So I'm interested to see if RoX do just try and go for the whole hog on this one. Get the Latrak, Lina. They are normally the two most popular combinations with the SD. Latrak probably the most popular of late, mainly because he offers you that pushing potential, which is something RoX don't really have until later. And looks like RoX just get themselves a little bit defensive as well as the offlane. I say defensive, he's a great counter-initiator to the Darkseer, and possibly like if he can get a combination off, as in like Darkseer into Disruptor ulti or into Enigma Black Hole. With Invoker also dropping Meteorites down top of that one, and the rest of the damage he would pump out. That's a lot of control, there's a lot of DPS that can fly the way of Team RoX. But RoX also have themselves a Centaur. Catching them out of positions can be really difficult with his ultimate unless it is a counter-initiation. That's why it went to my mind the first. And RoX actually going to go with the Disruptor pickup. Kind of feels a little bit like a block pick. It really does feel like a block pick, because it's not the right synergy. And we're searching for with the Mirana and the Ancient Apparition. What it does work well up against, though, is the Darkseer. When you run a Darkseer offlane, your only escape mechanism is going to be the Surge, and Glimpse is the perfect counter to that. As long as you can get 3 levels on the Disruptor, so you can get the 2 levels up on the Glimpse, then you should be okay. with using the Disruptor in that lane. But the early combination with Ancient Apparition and Disruptor is only there if they're going to attempt an aggro try, and that's Chilling Touch bonus damage. Make the most out of it now before everyone gets slowed up. And then we get an SK. So combination does come in, so we have Darkseer and SK together.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah. So that does at least work with a vac into a nice Burrow Strike. They still need a level of control, though. Like, someone that can hold them all in nice and close. And I wasn't feeling that from a Viper. Like, if Viper was really going to be the last pick up here from RoX KIS, this would just turn into a full-on team fight kind of slaughter fest. That's what it would what would happen with RoX KIS, because they couldn't keep everybody back. On being like Darkseer throwing an Iron Shell over on the SK, say Burrow Strike him there, try and get your Epicenter off. If you get in a little bit of trouble, then just try and scuttle yourself away with the initial invis from Sandstorm. Obviously, you can't stay inside that. Disruptor ulti, Mirana, Arrow, Centaur, Hoofstomp. All three of these will pull SK out of his invisibility. SD could, of course, save him when they do jump in. Like, just a straight leap in, and it's like, SD, it's like, SK jumps in, disruption, Epicenter will still keep going out from him, even though he's inside that disruption. So that's one way to play it. DK is the last one BZZ thinks the RoX are going to go for. Will be a nice mid-solo hero, but I don't know if I'm feeling that in this game. I was kind of looking for someone that can be a little bit more aggro up against the Invoker. Maybe getting nice and close. Storm Spirit was one of the first things coming to my mind here. The other one was Puck, but obviously he got banned out in the second phase, so they can't really take him. But we're gonna go with the
Radiant team
had a very different descriptive word come to my mind just then. But the oil-coated dog was where my brain was meant to go at the very, very start. So we'll be having Shadow Fiend now coming in for Team Relax. And that's a wonderful mid-solo. Good team fight control as well. Obviously, I'm talking about Disruptor then combining up with the SF Ultimate. And the early Chilling Touch will also give... Like, Ancient Apparition could just sit there giving the early Chilling Touch to Shadow Fiend. I know Goldblast's going to be very, very... like, he knows all about that. He was doing it for a while himself to try and buff up solo in the middle lane. But that was also about a month and a half, 2 months ago. Back when AA was being picked up by them all the time. But we're missing our BZZ heroes. And need something that can go up against an SF, something that will be able to eat through the life points of the Centaur because they're missing the right-click DPS, and someone that can also keep their... Okay. Solos on the TA, so it's a safe lane Invoker in this game. Lending Sunstrikes around, let SK and SD roam. I can see this working. They're definitely going to be aggressive with this lineup, though. If this game goes late, then the game is over. Like, Ancient Apparition and Disruptor, while their physical DPS may not be amazing, their control abilities later into the game, they're going to be unparalleled. I know SK as well as SD are also really great coming into that mid-game, even the early game. The early game is wonderful for initiations. But when you're going up against an SF, Mirana, and a Centaur, the SD with just 2-3 hits from the SF will explode. And SK, well, he'll probably take just a couple more. It really won't be difficult for Relax to win this in the late game. So RoX KIS are the ones coming in under pressure after looking at the draft. But we'll get ourselves straight into this game right now as, well, I say almost straight to this game. Quick pause coming out from RoX KIS before we start. Just want to give a reminder as well for everything else which is coming up in the schedule for both D2CL as well as the other stuff that Join Dota is doing. We've got a lot of action coming up. ESL and D2CL running side by side over the course of the next 2 weeks. So the Join Dota live streams are going to be flying out. Tons of VODs as well. But yeah, we have our ESL tiebreakers as well as the lower bracket finals coming up tomorrow. D2CL scheduled for tomorrow has the retry going up against next KZ. That match will be coming up at 20 CET tomorrow. And Alliance play their first match of the D2CL as well, up against the team you're watching right now, which is RoX KIS. That's on Tuesday, while VP will also have themselves a date with RoX KIS on that same Tuesday. So for more of those details, just head yourself over to d2cl.org. The full schedule is up and available over there. So yeah, go check it out, peoples. Go check it out. It's a wonderful place to go. And of course, all the VODs you can find over on our Dailymotion channel. They're over on Dailymotion straight away. We upload them at the conclusion of the last game of the night. And then we put them over on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/joindota. It goes up there just a couple of days later. So we wait the 48 hours so Dailymotion people can enjoy it exclusively because they are the major sponsors of this tournament. Of course, big shout out as well to HyperX as well as to Zero. It's great to have them on board too, bringing us more wonderful Dota 2 action for your viewing pleasure. And I know I was just hoping I got to cast a game tonight. Come into the office on a wonderful Sunday. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and people are walking around in not 3,000 different layers of clothing in Germany. It's a wonderful time. It's a wonderful time. And now we just need one more minute for you, for our last player to come in for RoX, and then we are good to rock and rumble. Looking forward to it. Of course, guys, if you are looking for the Dota TV ticket for the D2CL for the next season, unfortunately, it's not out yet. In fact, there is, I believe there's actually a backlog of about 5 or 6 different tickets, which are even a compendium is being held back right now by Valve and the patch notes, coming into the main client. So we need to get those tickets into the game at some point. I believe they're meant to be coming on either Monday or Tuesday. Hopefully they're out Monday morning US time, so they're available for our games tomorrow night. So that is the hope, the prayer. They were all meant to be out like a week and a half ago, but obviously Valve are over in Hawaii having their wonderful holidays, sipping pina coladas, getting caught in the rain, and toasting the joys of Gabe Newell. But yeah, they never were able to get the Dota TV tickets out just yet. This season, it does actually come with a little bit of a bonus too, so you're able to pick up the Bounty Hunter set. It comes with this season. We don't have any of the stretch goals for this season around, because this season's a very, very quick season. We're actually getting through the entire group stage within 2.5 weeks. The last game scheduled for the group stage is actually on the 10th of next month. So that's 2 days before the TI4 qualifiers will begin. That's when our last D2CL match is, and that's VP versus Cloud9, scheduled for that day. So yeah, there's a lot of matches to come up in a very, very, very short period of time, and we're trying to stick to the schedule of 2 matches a day, and those matches are 2-game series. So you get 4 games of Dota a day. That's what we hope to get. Right now, we got what we hoped, and that's to start the game up. So we'll check through our lanes. We've got Yol heading up towards the top lane. He'll be playing the role as a Sand King, and that puts Goblak into the SD role. Also, they're trying to set up for an early gank up on top lane, just to try and give Seedoy that extra advantage in the early stages of the game. He'll be the Darkseer in the off lane. Solo towards the mid as the Templar Assassin, and BZZ, the very, very defensive Invoker, realizing with Ancient Apparition, it's a free ticket for any team to walk through the Radiant Jungle. That Chilling Touch just means you'll win any level 1 fight, especially when you can also walk around with glimpse, arrows, SF's bonus damage. If he even wants to get raises at level 1, that's fine. And that's also, that is a fine thing to do. Normally you want to try and get the souls, but that's only if you're going to end up in a passive lane, or you're not quite, or if you're 100% sure you can get those last hits in. But going raises early on, it allows you to ensure your money so you can get your bottle. So it's the trade-off. You don't get souls at the start, but you ensure you get your CS. But SF right now, he did go in for the Necromastery, so souls are the priority here for Yoki. Now off lane, I really need to learn how to pronounce his name correctly, because I know whatever I do, we're going to call him the Centaur for tonight. Ancient Apparition also going a little bit more aggressive out down south. Nexus is the Marana up on the top lane. He was playing his game early today with the stand-in tag 1-2-3, but he's in fact Nexus, and that leaves Dread, the old captain of RoX, playing as the captain of Relax now. Now with the DD rune, they might give a crack here at solo. He's still got a little bit more time left on his disruption, and now the Chilling Touch comes on the SF. It just ensures his kills, and they zone out solo in the early stages. Meanwhile, up on top lane, Nexus, he has leveled up Leap, but he's trying to just keep his distance away from everybody else, as well as the next Burrow Strike, which is 2 seconds away. He's out of range though. That Burrow Strike won't be able to reach. Yol's still trying to give it a shot. But Nexus will be able to survive the gank up on the top lane. Meanwhile, in middle lane, this is what I was trying to keep my eyes on. Solo, can he even get to that bottle early on? Yoki, he started so low on gold. He put everything into his Wraith Band as well as his Ironwood branches. So he had basically nothing at the very, very start. and I won't say you get to his bottle before him, but the bottle timing will be roughly the same. Cedo is really pushing Nexus back. At the same time, we've got SD as well as SK rotating in towards the middle lane. SF's got 9 souls up him, but that won't help him once he gets disrupted. But then, Goldblack couldn't reach him. So Yoki just goes on the run. The movement speed does belong to him, but then again, SK coming in from the side, one quick raise. Now the Chilling Touch. There's no cold feed because obviously Chilling Touch first level and SD disruption over on the SF. Wow, there's too many S somethings in this game. Don't know how we can really avoid calling him that. I don't know what to call it. Shadow Fiend, Shadow Demon, and then the Sand King. Either way, maybe my brain just wakes up to it all. Yeah, but a good escape there from Yoki. Thought he could turn it around, but then both supports pulling out at the right time. The Russians definitely not wanting to leave these lanes unattended for too long. We've got movement coming down to bottom lane. That offlane Centaur is having a wonderful time up against BZZ. 11-0 up against an 8 for 0. Oh, 8 for 3, sorry. No, that's SF. No, I was right. It skipped. 9-1 now over on the Invoker. Whose brain's awake today? Goldblack. Okay, he's just going to be doing a straight pull through. Using the SK in conjunction for it. Maybe a little bit of an early pull. No, they got enough damage for it, and it works. But when you do this kind of stuff, you know the Centaur's going to cause you some issues. Chilling Touch. He's still got a double edge available. The Burrow Strike down by Yol went to the other side of the tree line. And now the SD Disruption. That'll actually, in fact, block in the Ancient Apparitions. They follow up with the Cold Snap, forcing some decent damage to come the way of the Ancient Apparition. Then a Burrow Strike to go through the Centaur. Hoofstomp will buy him the space to escape from this. They really don't have the DPS to bring him down. So everyone just backs up. Tight, close quarters fighting right now, but surprisingly, no one has died just yet. While up on top lane, maybe Cedoy can be the first. Nope, there's not enough mana for the Glimpse. It's also only a level 1. Nexus could have attempted to go for an arrow, but with the surged up Darkseer, the chances of hitting that arrow are rather minimal. How's Yoki looking in the mid? He ended up buying up boots as opposed to going in for the bottle, but he's going to be careful about doing this. As you're seeing already, just lining up for those side blades, dropping the SF's life points down quite low. At the same time then, Solo, he also needs his ball to come back so he can finally have the mana for more refraction charges. Because he doesn't have him right now, so he's losing his advantage for the CS in the lane. And SF's already taking that advantage. Okay, maybe with a meld hit. Not close enough. Knew if he stopped running, he would actually lose the range on it. And end up just wasting his meld, but he's got SF down to 52 life points. And what's coming out in the courier now? Okay, it's Yoki's bottle. It's finally arriving. At the same time as Solo, well, he gets himself a regeneration rune. Couldn't have asked for anything better. Yoki's basically got to use his entire bottle charge and then send the bottle back. And Solo remains on the front lines, able to harass him and then trigger the regeneration rune. And then have another 3 bottle charges. This lane is not looking fun for the SF now. You got the early start. Maybe this is also the reason why Ancient Apparition's coming in. Putting down the Sentry Ward just in case there's any kind of vision. Is it around the time? Well, TA is not level 6 yet, but it'll come in time. As Invoker tries to battle up on the bottom lane. He's still waiting for SD to get a good disruption off into the catcher. With Sunstrike's just sitting there at level 2. And hasn't done anything. But you notice too, he also had to put the 2 points up into the Quas. It's just to try and keep him alive. Like, if he takes too much return damage from the Centaur, he's going to need those points up in Quas to keep him alive in the lane. Now with Tranquil Boots over on the Centaur, he can go for a little bit of a wander, soak up the experience, regenerate up, and then come straight back into the lane and battle up against the Invoker. And Invoker doesn't have a build for DPS. He could try and pick up the Phase Boots in this game, but at the same time, I'm not quite sure that's going to be the best thing. This should be a Hand of Midas game for the Invoker. And the main reason I say that is because you're still trying to push this guy as a big, heavy carrier in the mid game. Which means you're going to need those probably 2 tier 3 items by the mid game. And the only way to get that is basically to run that Hand of Midas. You could try and go Phase Boots, but if you're going to do that, we'll probably be seeing points coming up into Quas and we go for a little bit more of the movement speed kind of style. But for now, the money is starting to rack up, and it should be the Hand of Midas for the safe lane Invoker. We're 6 minutes in, he'll have the Midas up by 8 minutes. No problem whatsoever. Runes over on top will be a Cedoy Haste Rune, saving it again for Solo. Room control has really been superb from RoX. I still can't believe we have Russians versus Russians, and we're almost 6.5 minutes into this game. And not a single kill has happened. We've had a couple of close contacts, but now Solo, he's going to try and force the issue. Cold feeds out, but Meld, he can just wait. Yep, there goes your Sunstrike. It's going to hit on the Ancient Apparition. There's that bonus damage that Solo was searching for. First blood will go to him. Seedoy is really deep in on this SF, but then Centaur double edges them up. Disruption will pull Centaur out while Solo takes a double kill. Hoof Stomp will go again, but the poison's starting to rack up, and this will be the death of the Centaur man of one. He denies himself. All right, that kind of works. Glimpsing back Solo. He's still got this haste rune, and he just got out. He just got out of the wall in time. It could have been a guaranteed kill. I think that wall might have been just out of range of the vision of the tower. But Dread still gave it a shot. 3-1 now on the board. Solo cops a raise to the face and then turns on his refraction. Want to make sure he can still keep battling on the front lines. I don't know if he's trying to bait out another Shadow Rage from the SF. It's kind of okay for the SF to do so when he comes in, because he can just pop a bottle charge when he arrives, so he just keeps the regeneration flooding in. Now, there's our Hand of Midas now over on the Invoker. And he keeps just having his own little timing. He got 1 assist for the kill in the mid. Doesn't seem like much, but with the fact the Centaur also had to rotate out, ended up committing suicide, lost a little bit of money. He's only walking around with the Tranquil Boots. It means Invoker has the upper hand on this bottom lane now. Doesn't take much to change it around. Still got Nexus farming up on this top lane. Nexus not going in for any kind of Midas Mirana. Instead, it looks like Nexus is going to focus a little bit more on getting involved in the action early on. Phase Boots and Ring of Aquila. Means we could rush the Maelstrom and go into Mjolnir. Some good early damage. At the same time, though, he's going to need some help to get those kills. And Disruptor's not really at that point just yet. No ulti up for him. Well, we got a little bit of fun coming out with the Centaur. Burrow Strike from Yol. Just trying to keep Centaur out of this play. And Centaur triggers the ulti. He knows Yol doesn't have a Burrow Strike, but then he's going to try and juke him around the tree line. And there's your double edge. Takes the kill. BZZ's rotating over. Not to mention there's more coming from the north. There's a TP scroll over on the Centaur, but he knows one cold snap will pull him out of it. So Centaur stop. He's got SD Disruption also now to cause him some troubles. There's your cold snap. So 1 stun down. He needs to get himself away. 3 poison stacks. He's dead. Nothing will let him survive this one. In fact, SD could have just triggered it straight away. But yeah, the Centaur will go down here on the bottom lane. Again, the trade-off as far as a kill goes on the SK. Not the greatest trade-off you've ever seen. Especially when this kind of stuff now happens. Solo just instantly picks up Dread. Glimpse won't be able to help him out in that one because the DPS that can fly out from the Templar Assassin is just way, way too fast. You get a Meld hit and 2 refraction hits, then you basically got that disrupted down. But they're trying to give Dread the space. They're saying like he's not at a point, needs that ultimate, he needs that time and space in order to get his ultimate up and running and to become that real team fight control that they want out of the Disruptor. But the only way to do that right now is to basically let him have top lane free farm. But they need that for Nexus right now because he also needs his Mjolnir. Arrows flying down. Okay, just going to hit the creep wave. Originally that was meant for Yol, and he'll just sandstorm through it all. SF going a little greedy here. Never really sure about this. I know Arteezy is still trying to make me a believer of this, just by practice, like seeing him do it in competitive games. But the Hand of Midas on the SF. Normally you can flash farm an SF quite easily. So you don't really need to have the Hand of Midas. But if you add flash farm as well as the Hand of Midas together, you can just have an unstoppable beast so early on. Right now, okay, dewarding of dewards. They're going to lose that sentry ward of Dread straight away, but they at least did spot out Goldblack moving around inside the Invis rune up through the middle lane. And you're seeing what he's looking for. He wants to see where the SF is farming. Comes up deeper. Has a sentry ward available and now sees him. Disruption and Catcher with a Sunstrike. What level are we looking at for that? 4 levels. Disruption. There's your Catcher. There's your Sunstrike. 2 points up in the poison. But then Centaur is just trying to get him away here. And it's far enough away to make sure he doesn't get hit by another poison. So he's all good to go. The Catcher wears off at 128 life points. He returns to base. But that shows you just how, like, 1 SD rotating in with a global Sunstrike, that's enough to force your mid-solo back to base and away from his farming area. That's concerning just in itself. And Invoker's still getting more and more powerful. So we're going to get a 4-staff coming out from him. Almost with a full cash to get it. But that's that hand of Myers and free farm on the bottom. 73 for 33. Centaur can only do so much, and he's now 20 for 0. Spent more of his time recently rotating around the mid up towards the top, trying to find kills left, right, and center. But couldn't really get him. On Nexus, okay, what's he bought? We got full drums coming out and the rest of his magic wand. This really is an early fighting Mirana. But that means she's got to rotate out now. Like, either take this top tower, bring the SF up there, force an early fight with the Centaur. Actually, don't force an early fight with the Centaur. Keep the Centaur out of it, and maybe... Okay, well, they're going to force a fight anyway. Glimpsing him back, the wall comes up, the Hoof Stomp, well, there's a double edge, and they'll get themselves a kill. Mirana takes the kill.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah. The only reason why I started to change my mind halfway through my sentence was because I was still looking at Centaur saying 1,000 gold to Blink Dagger. So we needed more space. But while they do that, like they kill off the Invoker, where my original thought train was going was Relax can distract Rozkis, try and force him to bring a couple of players up to the top, and give Centaur the space to farm up. And allow him to get that Blink Dagger. Now Yoki, he's not going to walk into the trap here of Solo, but Solo's waiting for anybody. He's going to find the Centaur, but he's already moved on. Moves up, finds the SF, Meld hit, TA trap hits to start with. Refraction Charge is still available, but with the Centaur ulti, Yoki started winding up the ulti in the tree line, but he was never really going to commit that. Would have been an absolute waste. Our first Blink Dagger does arrive. It's not in the Centaur. It's over on the Sand King. The only downside for Sand King is he doesn't really have enough mana to be full-on aggressive. He needs to get the Arcane Boots for that one. But a quick TP in towards the middle lane, if someone wants to buy him a scroll and drop it on the ground. Then he could come in with the Burrow Strike level 4 into Epicenter, and that would be enough to kill off the Centaur. They know his ulti is down because they had to defend the SF in the mid. So there is the potential chance to go for this kill. I don't think they'd really care anyway. Disruption and Catcher. As long as the Sunstrike's capable of hitting and a Meld is able to connect, you're basically saying goodbye to that Centaur. Very simple to get through his 1k life points, even though normally that's not to be said in most games. Cedo continues to force out that top lane. Full mech is now finished for him. It can't be long until Rozkis just forced a team fight. And we see what Invoker's doing. It wasn't actually a 4-staff that Staff of Wizardry went into. He's just going straight into Necro Box. Get these minions up and running. Suppose it's a nice time to do it before the BKB will arrive on the SF. And you're not going to see Disruptor or Ancient Apparition try and get rid of it. And Mirana definitely doesn't want to. If Nexus tries to get rid of these guys, he'll drop below half of his life points. So it's caution central. We've got movement coming up right now. Solo, Hoof Stomped, he ran straight into it with the Disruptor ulti in the wall. The SC Disruption is trying to buy a little bit more time for the kinetic field to drop down. Solo melds up so he had the extra invis.
Dire's structures are fortified.
He didn't know how much mana was still over on Dread to know if it was potential glimpse. But he gets himself away, having the remainder of the haste rune. He had all the confidence to move up like he did. Solo just knew, like with the haste rune, he could just go for a bit of a run. Refraction and Meld should be able to get him out of most troubles. I think he's really expecting that much pain to come his way. But either way, Solo doesn't die. It still remains 6-3 in favor of Roxkiss. And their advantage will start to stretch. In fact, you're looking at through the gold. They're taking more and more towers. That's 3 tier 1 towers down without a single loss for them. Hearing a Burrow Strike up on top lane, actually watching it most of the way. Leap away by Nexus was just in time, and now he's going to pop the Moonlight Shadow. Centaur still has ulti available in case they were really trying to run themselves down here. The arrow has a bit of a fish, but Cedoy, he'll turn. SF saw him for a moment. But while Surge is still off cooldown, I know it's only a level 2, but it should still be enough. He leaves 9 Shell up on the top. And now Cedoy, okay, now he's going to realize he's in trouble. Surge is away, Glimpse will pull him straight back into the kinetic field, and the arrow will connect perfectly. And Cedoy, what he thought was going to be a quite simple escape doesn't turn out to be. And Solo and Goldblack are trying to catch out anybody else. They knew the Ancient Apparition was walking wounded back on the top lane, but the pings are coming out saying they've moved up through here. And there's no real vision of the Dire side to watch for that. That just comes down to good map knowledge. A good map presence. That's not the word I'm searching for. Map awareness. That's the one I was searching for. It's now for Relax. They kill up on top lane. They bought themselves a little bit more space. Maybe not that much, as Solo again is on the hunt. But he sees Dread just standing there. Sunstrike. Meld hit. Boom. I'm not quite sure how you're really meant to deal with that, apart from don't stand still is the only thing that could be said right now. Arrow's about to fly up from Nexus if he wasn't too worried about hitting, well, nothing else. It's only his own creep there. Level 3 Necro Book is up and running. The double Blink Daggers have arrived for RoX, for Relax. You might have a little bit of trouble. Centaur already being used to get Yoki out. Also looks like it helps out Nexus and the Ancient Apparition, who are backing up from the ESD and SK. But this mid-tier 2 tower is already under attack, and now they don't have a Centaur ulti. They also don't have their SF. He's busy heading down south, trying to rush into this BKB of his. That's taking some sweet time. And in the meantime, they lose their tier 2 tower in mid, and probably even Roshan at this point. Roskis will still feel the control over the Roche pit. They have a higher level Darkseer. Only 3 points up in Vac, but that should be enough for this fight. If we're actually even attempting to take it. They do have the double, like, the double blinks. I say the double blinks, like there's one on Centaur. It's the only other blink they have in their lineup, but it's the double blinks I feel like. They got one blink coming out from the Centaur, so they can jump in that way. And the AA ulti is at least up now. He's managed to crack level 6. At a level 6 Ancient Apparition, 18 minutes into this game. It's a bit of a sad situation for him. And there's movement coming in. TA, nice time for the trap. Solo. BKB. He's just going to commit. He missed uphill, though, on that first meld strike. So he didn't get the bonus damage from that. Dread trying one charge it up. The AA ulti, the AA ulti. The AA ulti does fly out. But the Sunstrike came in perfectly. And it seems like Centaur is caught between a rock and a hard place. I'm guessing Blink into the wrong position. Vac will clean up the rest of the trees, and 3 players from Relax go down. And Roskis really push their advantage now. Back up to top lane, Yol to defend up against Nexus. A quick burrow strike in. He's just trying to make sure the tower can be denied. He blinked himself back down again, but the catapult did the work now. Starfall, he's just going to get a kill in Nexus, but Solo also on his way in. Leap him, the Sunstrike, not enough damage. 52 life points on Nexus. Goldblack, the ST trying to force the middle lane. At least Relax will come back to their base. The SK just throwing away his life there. Didn't really need to happen that way, but he was trying to push the envelope. Trying to get the denial as well. Like, it was ballsy to really attempt. If it paid off, we'd be seeing his graces right now. Seedoy. Dread's moving out right there. Now, the sentry ward's only ones down here from the Dire side, so they jump out, and the Aeoldi will connect on Seedoy. So the Darkseer goes down trying to farm up Mud Golems, which obviously doesn't really work with Iron Shells. Glimpse back into the Disruptor ulti, and now they've got the Invoker locked down too, and maybe more. Solo's coming in to fight. He's going to pick up the Ancient Apparition, meld it over towards the SF, trying to force him back. Blinks over the wall this time around. Now he's still got BKB available, so they can't control him at all as Solo just goes in deep. SF winds up for the ultimate, and now Centaur jumps into. BKB has to go off from Solo, but he's going to get himself a triple kill right now. It's the one-man killing machine with the Aegis model behind him. Melt Strike picks up an ultra kill. Solo, he's going ham all over Relax. The Burrow Strike's going to protect him. Yol, he's trying to actually Yol! He's trying to give him the full rampage. All he needed was basically one attack onto the Mirana, but Mirana leaps away to safety. The rampage gets denied.
Dire's top tower is under
And the team wipe also along with it. Yol is going to make Yol pay for that. But luckily for him, he's still walking around with the Helm of Iron Will, so he'll have his regeneration after the AA effect is worn off. And the Sentry Ward's now finally, and the Observer's getting taken care of by Roxkiss. So Relax go blind again on the map. They do actually have some good offensive wards. These guys right here. Unfortunately for them, the Sentry Ward as well as the Observer Ward are about to time out within the next minute or so. So it's going to get a little bit harder for him. Now, smoke up, arrow flies. It won't connect on Solo. So they're missing their long stun. Attempted denial, not going to work out. Disruptor already throwing the ulti out in solo. Doesn't have BKB for the 2 seconds, but Centaur, nice hoof stomp. Seedoy, never able to get any kind of combo off. And Yol, he still hasn't triggered off a single epicenter, I don't think. But BKB solo going to work. This time around, though, he doesn't have that Aegis to the Immortal. He gets done on the raise. And now Nexus looking for more kills. Searching on Yol. Couriers are also in the flight in the... well, okay, is he going to get it? Yep, Couriers end up dying. SK is able to get himself away with a Blink Dagger. Now Godblack, they're going to turn. Disruption, we've got another wall coming up as well. But Yol, the dust is there, so we can't hide. The Thunderstrike is also not helping him out here. He'll be able to survive through this. The Sunstrike is searching for a kill. In fact, it looks like he's able to pick one up. The Disruptor does go down while the SF getting cold snapped up. BZZ will pick up a double kill. Run Arrow is also having a last fish on the way out. So Disruptor died right down here where the Sunstrike was able to connect. And we go 17-9 now on the board. Wow, what a nice way to just kick up this game after we have ourselves possibly one of the most passive, actually I can't really say it was massively passive at the very, very start of this match. Either way, game gets a lot more interesting now with Roskis going to look towards breaking high ground. They may still want TA's BKB before they really attempt this. Solo might also just get completely ballsy and go in for the Deso. He's already got the Yasha for his movement speed. Obviously has no intention of finishing up the Mana style at this point. And why does he need to? We really do have our double blinks now. SF picks up a Blink Dagger. We actually have our quad blinks coming in for Roxkiss. The only one without one is the BT Invoker. Everybody else has themselves a Blink Dagger. And right now, Seedoy is about to be on the receiving end of that Blink Dagger. And that's the one from Centaur. Unless he is quick enough on the button to get himself out. But nope, they didn't reach him in time. And the smoke's already broken. So not feeling they can get inside. Solo on the bottom lane. Tempting target. A very, very tempting target. If he sticks around long enough, they could give him a crack. But there's a lot of support right behind him. So if they give it a shot, he may just go down. The arrow's going to fly out. 5 seconds on over on BZZ. But the more important thing for RoX is now they know the rest of Roskis is back there, so they got it back up anyway. Roskis just have the 5-man movement on the bottom lane. They want a team fight. They have that level 11 Seedoy, so we finally got our 4 points up in VAC. So maximum effectiveness during the team fights, apart from the fact he doesn't have his level 2 ultimate, but that's to be expected. Your Darkseer really isn't the fight winner until he hits his level 12, because he just needs the 4-4-2-2. Without that combo, he's just not as amazing. But he's still pretty damn good in this game. Relax, having their tier 3 tower beaten down. Necro units with alacrity. Solo on the front lines. Blinking himself back out to safety. The arrow will fly astray here. And the tower's almost gone down. The AOD is coming out and Solo's moved forward here. Able to get the last hit on the tower, so TA will claim that one. Glimpse, it will drag him back up. The Disruptor ulti as well as Wall went down for this. Cold snaps over on the Centaur while they keep getting attacked up by the Necro units. This is a ticket to go in. In fact, it already is. Look at Solo. 2 hits for the Ancient Apparition. The funny thing is, I was looking at the other way, saying like SD would have the same problem up against a hero like an SF, but with BKB Midas as the only things he got in this SF right now, he doesn't have the power to try and fight in these situations. 34 souls might be cranking up this SF, but when you have a hit like that from Solo, the Mel just keeps going to work, and he is going balls deep for the Desolator. Solo is not a guy that feels like this needs to be a passive Templar Assassin. If he just jumps up to the Dire Shop right now, he can pick it up himself. Unfortunately, he has to go through all 5 heroes of Relax to do so, and if he's done that, then he's already got himself kills. And there's the bottom rank. So they made this back up, which is what they're doing. Arrow flies out, SD. Just on the tail end of Golblack. But that courier can now send out the Desolator. Roshan's obviously still on the sidelines. But in a moment, he'll respawn back up again. And already Roskis are turning their attention towards the mid. I'm wondering just how fully they want to go in for this. And what do we got coming out in this courier? I assume Veil of Discord's finally here? No, it's just the Desolator. It's going to turn around. Actually, no, I correct myself. Yeah, I was right. the Veil of Discord was here. Never doubt yourself.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Which means now with Deso and Veil of Discord, maybe we could finally see a wonderful level center from Yol. I know it's only level 1, but still. I'll give her a crack. Up through middle, and then again we got Solo, who's just got himself an invis rune. He's walking in through the back lines. So he sees up towards the SF, and then Cold Snap, initiation, Meld Strike will also hit. It might almost be worth the BKB at this point. But then again, you see the speed, he just destroys the SF on the sidelines, and the buyback will come up. Glimpse, dragging the Invoker back up to the high ground, and the rest of Roskis have to get in here. Disruption protects the Invoker for now. He's got a 4-staff out. Centaur, though, with the ulti, running in solo. Hits so hard on Dread. Second hit will bring him down. He's thinking about the Ancient Apparition, but couldn't finish the job. He's taking too much damage out from both Nexus as well as the SF, who blinked out to keep up with him, and Mariah's looking for more. Arrow to fly out. Seedoy, he runs in a straight line, just dodges to the right, and evades the arrow, and then out to safety with the TP. No RoX is lost. The Templar Assassin spree is given over. In fact, how much money was made from that? Only 371. Oh, but this could be more critical. Templar Assassin can't buy back, short by 160 gold. And this is now going to be RoX being able to take out Roshan. This is almost a moment for Yol just to go like balls deep. Just give her a shot. Seedoy as well. They've got to stop this. Now, glimpse back. Wall, Vac. He was able to get the Vac off, but the wall was too deep inside the pit. Now, they can keep themselves on either side of this wall. Goldblack blinks away. Veil of Discord's over on Dread. And they're searching for a little bit more. Sunstrike. Wow, that's a lot of damage. And Dread as well as Ancient Apparition are backing up. Roshan's so low on life, though. Yol blinked himself in, searching for a Burrow Strike kill. While Invoker was hovering around the edge, trying to wait for someone to rotate up. He's managed to find Nexus at least. The man with the Veil of Discord is still on top of him. But the fact that Relax didn't finish up Roshan, it's crazy. They've got to throw the AA ulti back down there, because if they just let Roskis go inside the pit, which is exactly what Roskis is going to do now, with Solo, the Aegis now belongs to him. It's the decision from Relax. They kind of felt like they couldn't take the fight, but then they backed up so much to regenerate to try and take the fight later on that it was already too late. We've got Purge, Sunstrike, Catcher, BKB from Nexus will protect him, not to mention a nice ultimate coming out from Dread, keeping Seedoy and Yol at bay. But the movement's going to come straight up through middle lane, up towards that tier 3 tower, and Solo's already going to town. Desolator kicking in. Looks like the Necro units aren't up just yet. They're still on cooldown for the moment. So that dead corpse is sitting in the mid, but with the tier 3 tower down, Relax have only one choice now. You know, nice on over on BZZ. They've got to go. They have to go. Centaur with the double stomp is looking for the double edge, and with the SF wind up ulti, Yol will take a lot of damage, but he's still got him with the epicenter. One raise will bring him down as the Centaur's trying to run away from Solo, but back into the meteorite hit. And then Seedoy blinks in to actually get the body block off. Ghosted was protecting it, but then the SF death ulti flies out. Solo jumped in. The meld hits very hard on both the Disruptor as well as the Ancient Apparition. Unfortunately for Solo, he can't see either of them. But now he can see Nexus. The Moonlight Shadow was what was protecting Relax. But they never brought down the Templar Assassin. There's now 14-2, and the GG call comes out from Relax. The game was good, but the game is over. It'll be a win to RoX KIS for this first matchup. And they should be happy with their performance. Solo really just uncontested across this entire map. And they're able to take one game off for Relax. The question is, can they do more? Relax are already sitting themselves comfortably in #1 position, having themselves a draw on their list. Wow, they may not be as happy about that one. Either way, we'll be back here after this short break, and we'll be seeing game #2, RoX KIS going up against Relax for the Dota 2 Champions League.